Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Ripe for Reissue. And the Ripe for Reissue object is this thing. Decca. It's on Decca, although the recordings were not necessarily Decca. They were all over the place. But it's Decca's Handel, the Great Oratorios, on 41 fun-filled CDs. I was just checking on Amazon, and I see one used copy of this available for about $400 and some odd dollars. Totally insane. Why did this go out of print in the first place? It makes no sense to me. None whatsoever. It's a great cube. Really a wonderful box. And let's look at what's in it. And I'm sure you'll agree, this should never be out of print. You know, no composer has benefited from the period instrument movement more than Handel has, because it involved the rediscovery and recording in many excellent versions of all of his operas, or almost all of them, but just about all of them, and his oratorios, and, works that were totally ignored and were just filled with glorious music in really splendid performances quite often. And so, go figure. Why do something like this, which is really epic? I mean, you've got, how many oratorios do we have here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 of the suckers. That's a lot of them. And, what can I tell you? I mean, do they care? Think of all the work that went into this. I mean, granted, some of these may be available separately, and some of them will doubtless be released or have been released in boxes devoted to the various conductors and people like that. They package and repackage and repackage, but they are all Handel oratorios, and it's much easier to find them in the Handel oratorio box than it is in like the upcoming Pinnock box. You know what I mean? So let's see what's in here, shall we? It's actually rather nicely packaged, I must say. You get a booklet, and then you get these wonderful sort of library volume type things. It's something very Handelian about that. I'm not quite sure what, but let's see here. Oh, you get the booklet. Shall we do the booklet? Why not? Let's go through the booklet rather than doing this bit by bit. First, okay. Oh, look at all this stuff. Wow. This is exciting. All right, first, you get La Resurrezione, the resurrection, the Italian oratorio. Now, this is something that didn't exist before the period instrument movement came along and revived Handel's early Italian oratorios, and they have beautiful, beautiful music. Oh, my goodness. This is the Hogwood recording with Emma Kirkby and Patrizia Quella and Carolyn Watkinson and Ian Partridge and David Thomas. And boy, it begins with the most insane da capo aria. Oh my God. That's the Diseratevi o Porte d'Averno. It's got coloratura that goes on for ages. The best recording of it, performance of it, I think, was Lucy Crow's on that Il Caro Sassone, her Handel in Italy Harmonia Mundi recording. It's unbelievable. She's got a breath, she's got more breath reserve than a major pipe organ. She goes on for minutes, just going, incredible. Beautiful work. A beautiful work. This period instrument performance may have been in some degree exceeded by later ones, but it was really kind of a revolution when it came out, and it's nice to have it back. Then we've got Acis and Galatea. This is Gardner's with Norma Burroughs, Anthony Rolfe Johnson, Martin Hill, and Willard White as Polyphemus, and Paul Elliott as the extra tenor, because you always need an extra tenor. So there we go. There's that with the English Baroque soloist that will doubtless show up in a John Elliott Gardner box. These Gardner boxes are proliferating, by the way. We have the archive one, and now there's going to be an errato one, which is great. But all of his best stuff, or a lot of his best stuff, was done for Philips. And so we really need a John Elliott Gardner box from Decca that has all of that stuff. I'm sure one's coming eventually, but Decca is so screwed up. Maybe that's why this is out of print. Then we have Esther. That's Hogwood's Esther, which exists in 50 different versions and all this stuff, and it's all based on other music and whatnot. But this is with Patrizia Quella and Anthony Rolfe Johnson and Ian Partridge and David Thomas and Emma Kirkby. All those people, the Hogwood people. So we get Esther. And then after Esther, Athaliah. Oh, yeah. This is the one with Joan Sutherland and Emma Kirkby and also Hogwood, which was lots of fun. It really was. Everyone sort of like was horrified that Joan Sutherland would be doing it because her voice was so different from all those stripped down, vibrato-less, pure as milk, early music people. I thought it was wonderful. I really did. And, no one believes seriously that voices in those days actually sounded like Emma Kirkby. I mean, really? I mean, who are they kidding? I mean, real women sounded like real women. That was it. They might have sounded like Joan Sutherland for all we know. Certainly some of them did. So there we go. We got Athaliah, which was a masterpiece and as good as unknown until this thing popped up. Then we have Alexander's Feast. Oh, I love Alexander's Feast. This is with Gardner, with Donna Brown, Watkinson, Ashley Stafford, Nigel Robson, and Stephen Varco. Unfortunately, we have countertenors. But that's okay. And that's lots of fun. And you get the Alexander's Feast Concerto Grosso. Then, Saul. Saul, the great, enormous, big, huge. This is the Julius Caesar of the oratorios with this huge orchestra of trombones and the carillon and all kinds of stuff happening. This is Gardner's recording with Alastair Miles, Derek Lee Reagan, John Mark Ainsley, Lynn Dawson, Donna Brown. I do wish, since they have access to everything in these, it's all universal, that they've done the Macaris Saul, which I like a little better, even though it has a yuckier countertenor. But that's all right. Let's see, who else have we got here? That was Saul. Saul's going on forever. Yes, Saul's big. Saul is really long. Okay, Israel and Egypt. Yeah, that's the Gardner, Israel and Egypt. Now, it begins with Exodus. It does not begin with The Ways of Zion Do Mourn, the funeral anthem for Queen Caroline that he actually stuck in as the original part 1. This is just the famous parts 2 and 3. And you also get with this, let's see, you get the 2 coronation anthems, Zadok the priest and The King Shall Rejoice. And I mean, who could live without those? As if we don't have enough choruses in Israel and Egypt, right? All right, then we get Messiah, and it's Pinnock's. Yay! My reference recording for Messiah. Just a great Messiah with Arlene Auger and Sophie von Otter, Michael Chance, Howard Crook, John Tomlinson. Oh, it's amazing. It's fabulous. It's wonderful. We all love it. Then Samson. Samson is fun. That's a good one with the 16 and Harry Christophers. Oh, what a nice performance that is. Thomas Randall, Mark Padmore, Linda Russell, Catherine Wynne Rogers, Lynn Dawson, Matthew Vine. I mean, this is really getting to be a hot series. You see why this is such a great box? It really is. All right, so Samson is dead. And then they give us Semele. Oh, my God, the Semele with John Nelson. Semele with Kathleen Battle and Marilyn Horne and Sam Raimi and John Aller and Michael Chance and Sylvia McNair as Iris. I mean, wow, that's hot. This is just hot. Oh, my God, just to hear Marilyn Horne sing Iris Hence Away. Woo! Yes! It's just amazing. And Kathleen Battle in the most perfect role for her that you could ever imagine when she sings Myself I Shall Adore, or whatever it is, myself I will adore. Talk about perfect meeting of person and role. Wow. Oh, yeah. Hercules. Oh, God, I love Hercules. This is the Minkowski with Gideon Sachs and Anne-Sophie von Otter and Richard Croft. I mean, Hercules has Dejanira's mad scene, the all-time greatest mad scene before, like, Lady Macbeth. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's all about the Furies and snaky whips and going insane. And, oh, my God. It's wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. I mean, and Anne-Sophie von Otter is one of the best Dejaniras you will ever hear. She does a really good job with it. She's often considered to be a cool singer, but she lets loose in her mad scene. Oh, God, see the faithful sisters rise. I can sing the whole thing. But I'm going to spare you my version of Dejanira's mad scene and suggest that you simply listen to that. It's also on that disc Furioso that Joyce DiDonato did. That's amazing, too, with all the crazy, screaming Handel heroines. Yeah. Okay, Belshazzar. This is Pinnock. A wonderful performance. This is a big oratorio. It's over 3 hours long, with Anthony Rolfe Johnson, Arlene Auger, James Bowman, Catherine Robin, David Wilson Johnson. James Bowman was like, it was before they had countertenors who could actually sing. He was sort of the stand-in for everybody. And I give him credit. He did yeoman work when there wasn't anybody else around. But since then, right? Judas Maccabeus. Here's the Maccaris. Yay! The Maccaris, Judas Maccabeus, with Ryland Davies, Felicity Palmer, Janet Baker, John Shirley Quirk, Paul Eswood, Christopher Kite. What a cast! Yay! Well, that's just great. And let's see, we're already only on disc 30. Then Solomon, with Paul McCreesh and Andrea Scholl and Inger Dam Jensen and Alison Hagley and Susan Bickley and Susan Gritton and Paul Agnew and Peter Harvey. Got to have Solomon. It's got those 8-part choruses, the double choruses, and the arrival of the Queen of Sheba. And oh, that amazing scene with the 2 harlots. Oh, you gotta love the harlots. First harlot and second harlot. And they go at it in a gigantic Handelian cat fight. Oh, it's great. And then Theodora. I get Theodora with McCreesh again, with Susan Gritton, Susan Bickley, Robin Blaze, Paul Agnew. I think there are better Theodoras around now. This is a very good Theodora, don't get me wrong. But, that piece has really come into its own. It was Handel's favorite oratorio. He famously said, the Jews won't come because it's a Christian story, and the women won't come because it's a virtuous one. And that's true, but the music is just magnificent. Theodora is a wonderful heroine. The opera, the plot is a little bit silly. They keep talking about how they're, Nicodemus or Theodemus or what is his name is Didymus. That's his name. Theodora's boyfriend. All they do is spend 3 acts trying to rescue each other. But it's just deeply, deeply moving and beautiful. And the music is so heartfelt. It really is. It's his second to the last oratorio. The last being Jephthah, or Jephthah, however you want to pronounce it. And this is The Gardener, which is great, with Nigel Robson and Lynn Dawson and Anne-Sophie von Otter and Michael Chance and Stephen Varco, all the usual people. And that's it. That's your 41 discs of Handel oratorios. And my God, why on earth? This is really a bonanza of beautiful oratorio performances that it would be a real pain in the ass to get separately. Now, granted, you do not get texts and translations, as we did with the original thingies here, which I think is kind of a shame. I just want to take one of these suckers out for a minute, just so you can see what they look like. Here's Theodora. It comes in this very nice little book thing. Of course, it's done with these things, so I need my special CD extractor to get these things out without destroying either the CD or the booklet. They don't make it easy that way, but still, it's an amazing, amazing box, and it should never have been permitted to go out of print. It's absolutely great stuff, and we can only hope. We can only hope. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.